So it'll be my turn.
Yes.
Hey, we're live.
Okay. We'd like to start out tonight with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Everyone has a copy of the agenda. Do we have any additions? If not, I'd like a motion.
I make a motion.
Okay, Becky, you have a second?
Yeah, can I second it considering I wasn't at the meeting?
No.
No, this is
Oh, this is
approval
the
of the
agenda.
agenda.
Oh, yes. I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried 3-0. All right, minutes.
Minutes are there. You might want to take a minute.
That's what I can.
Right,
If, you can read them and see if they're okay. I'll do the best I can.
I know. Been there, done that. Understand it fully. I'll make a motion to accept the minutes as written.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a first and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And one
One
abstain.
abstain. Public comments. Dan, would you like to speak or anything about the shelter or anything? We know you're full.
We are full. We are getting quite a few out on Thursday. However, they're animals that have adoption applications in, but they need to go to the vet and get fixed before they can go home. So hopefully everything goes okay, and then we should have like a tiny little bit of space. But still exciting, nevertheless. We are losing one kennel tech. She is going to college in New Albany. And then one of them is going to start working full-time not full-time, but Monday through Friday at the high school, Tell City High School. So she will not be able to work the shift that we need somebody, which is 12 to 5. And then our other kennel tech goes back to high school. She's a senior this year. So we are probably going to be hiring. I hired somebody today, and then we're probably actually going to need somebody else.
Can you define what their duties are?
Kennel tech duties are just a lot of cleaning, feeding, reporting on anything that has changed about the animals, eating habits, health, their poop, things like that. They also restock all of our litter boxes, and so they do laundry, really just all things cleaning and taking care of the animals outside of what I do, which is pretty much vaccinate and dose out medication and stuff like that.
You guys got your 501(c) now, don't you?
We do have 501(c).
Can you use, community service?
Yes, we use community service all the time.
Oh, you do now?
Yeah, we've logged hundreds of hours of community service. So we encourage and welcome anybody who needs community service hours to come in.
Are they pretty, dependable when, do they say they're coming and then they come?
Yeah, actually, some of the best volunteers that come in are the ones that have community service.
Right.
Everything else going okay, Ann?
Yeah, it is. I'm going to probably try to see if there is a volunteer person that would like to come in and help answer phone calls, and do desk work.
I was wondering about that because, that you're in the middle of something, you gotta stop. You're in the middle of
Especially
something,
with it,
you need a front desk person.
yeah, with it being in Hamilton as well, I can't walk around the building with a phone.
Yeah.
The only time that a phone call will come through or you can hear me is if the phone is in the front room by the desk.
I'm sure that you could, that shouldn't be that hard to find someone.
Right. No, well, I mean, I've been kind of like, just very particular about, answering phone calls as well as my file cabinet, and how I keep everything. But I think I've got it squared away now that I could kind of hand off some responsibilities to other people, especially
Right.
the phone it's madness.
Nonstop.
Yeah. A lot of our phone calls are, people that have complaints about other people's animals.
You tell them to call dispatch?
I do. That's what I tell them. I tell them to call dispatch. And I know that there's a lot of places, animal control officers are inside the shelter.
Yeah.
So it's not, it makes sense that they would call us. But yeah, just for anybody that's listening, we have no authority. We can't go on anybody's property without their permission, and you'll have to call dispatch if you have questions about law.
We have stressed that almost at every meeting, trying to let the public know that.
Yeah. Other than that, right now, we're operating at appointment only. People have to stop just coming into the shelter with an animal in their hands, especially dogs. Well, especially cats and dogs. I don't know how many times we need to stress that the kitten, we cannot take any more cats. Most of our kennels, I would say, are doubled up. So eventually, once they get to a certain size, they're going to have to go to a different kennel. So even if you come into the shelter and you happen to see empty kennels, that does not mean that we're not full. Plus, if they're kenneled together and one gets sick, or one, gets an eye infection, then we have to have a kennel open to move them to. As for dogs,
More kennels.
yeah, well,
I mean, if we're gonna keep, if we're gonna keep accommodating to the community, if
I don't think you could get a big enough
if
building.
they want us to, no, because this is,
no, I don't.
they're upset with us
Mhm.
because we're not.
Yeah.
We're not accommodating, so if we want to accommodate to every resident in Perry County that needs to bring us a stray animal that is sick, then we don't need to see more kennels.
And then that means your operating costs are gonna go higher.
Mhm.
Every
So
time,
we need more staff,
Yeah.
and we can't afford more staff.
Right.
when you talk about kennels, are you talking about like the outside, not the outside, but inside the garage where you keep the dogs,
No, 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 the cat.
the cats?
Yeah, we were just talking about cat kennels,
Okay. Do you have any idea what those things cost?
about $2,000.
Oh, is that the brown ones that are on wheels?
Yes, but if we were to purchase new ones at
Mhm.
this point, we would purchase stainless steel.
Right.
Because the ones that we have now, it is a porous material, which holds
Yeah.
bacteria, it holds disease. They're harder to clean. Stainless steel is easier to disinfect. And we've been looking any vet office, we've been looking any of these, you go to Louisville Metro Animal Service. They're all stainless steel.
Yeah.
So it's just easier to clean, and that's what we would go to. I wouldn't
They're
purchase
just
another.
healthier. They're healthier.
Right, I wouldn't, if we're gonna spend the money, I wouldn't spend the money on a plastic.
Mhm.
At the last meeting, I brought up about the possibility of ANU being certified in being able to administer euthanasia. Have you got any more information regarding that?
Yeah, so I can do an online course. It is 18 hours. I have 180 days to complete it. With the 18 hours, the cost is $400. With an extra 250 if I would like the material with like the fake veins and stuff to practice on. After I complete that, then I would have to do a certain amount, I'm not quite sure how many, but a certain amount of euthanasias in front of a veterinarian, a licensed vet, and then he would just sign off, he or she would just sign off on it. and then I would be certified.
Is that for the state of Indiana or is that a national?
It's actually a national program, but the online course is available through the University of Florida.
Okay.
So that is one thing that I need to double check, is that it's okay in Indiana, but I am almost positive that it's the same program that they used and went through in for the Harrison County Animal Control. So
And how long is the course?
it's 18 hours, and I have 180 days to do the 18 hours.
Okay. What are you,
I'm just trying to take notes.
okay. Your salary, are you hourly or,
I'm out
okay, and what do you get paid an hour?
$12 an hour.
Can you know that?
Would you be willing to do this?
Yeah, absolutely. It's much needed.
Well, and I had brought it up, but we wanted to get the information. And what I'd like to do is make a motion that we pay for the training plus reimburse her hourly rate for those 18 hours she's taking that class. So I figured that up with $216 for the hours that you put into it, and then the 400, and it came up to $616.
Okay, hang on.
The other thing we would need to figure out if we're going to be doing euthanasia inside the building, which we have a medical room for it that was already, it's already been there. We've just been using it as storage, but proper disposal
Right.
is something that we would need to figure out. I know, and they don't even do like cremation anywhere in Perry County, and I'm completely unaware of how they did it when the shelter was operational before. So that's just some more questions that need to be asked.
And that was, one of the things, disposal. And this is being live streamed, so we want to explain that we're not going to euthanize every animal.
No,
These are going to be animals that are sick,
yes,
Aggressive.
sick,
aggressive.
aggressive, and I'm very upfront with anybody who's ever asked about our euthanasia policy. We only have a certain amount that we can spend if an animal is sick. Not that we don't have a set amount that's saying, we can't spend like several $1,000s on one animal, especially when we can go out and spend that money on spay neuter.
Right.
Which is really super important. So yes, if an animal it has, any kind of life-threatening injury, we're not gonna go to the lengths to try and save something that is probably not gonna make it anyways. That's about how sick, we're talking
Exactly.
here.
Well, and here's the thing, when you do that, one, we don't have the resources to spend thousands of dollars on one animal. So we're then going to ask for fundraising. Me, as the director, I have to step back and go, do we really want to take those thousands of dollars that were fundraised by people's hard-earned money and put it towards one animal? Or do we want to see how many animals we can help? So all that has to be looked at. Yes, we want to save everything, of course we do. But it's just not financially responsible to do that in a shelter setting. Now, your personal setting,
Right, of course.
Right.
write the check. But in a shelter setting, we just can't do that. Even if we were 100% county funded, that's not wise of spending of
It's not
county
feasible.
dollars.
Yeah, especially when they're probably not gonna, Parvo is something that you could spend all the money you want on it and it
We've
turn out
saved-
bad.
Well, we've
We've
saved
saved our
quite a few
Arvo dogs.
Arvo.
Really?
That's
Yeah,
a
but
miracle.
when you bring a dog in.
Yeah,
And,
it's the other things
Mhm.
that get into the expense, and then you have to look at if they have continued care, then that's when they become not adoptable.
right,
Right.
if they have an ongoing,
Condition.
Right,
Condition.
people are having a hard time right now buying food
Right.
correct.
for their animals.
I mean, when you
So
talk
we-
about bringing a cat or dog in and you have to have a leg amputated,
It's just not.
that's very, very costly. It's not,
I
and I
just,
hate to say this, it's not feasible, but because I love my animals, and you know I love my animals, and I just,
It's one of the hard parts of our job.
breaks my
oh,
heart.
yeah.
It
Yeah.
is.
Well, that-
And well, that's why, I also think that's why we're having a problem with people just bringing us
Mhm.
their animals, or people calling and I can't do it anymore for whatever reason. And I'm sorry for their particular circumstances. I understand that stuff happens. And everybody has a story, but that's another problem that we're having right now.
Right,
And that's one of the reasons why our doors are locked.
Well, I had mentioned to you about my mother-in-law, the mother that came up with the 3 little ones. Well, 2 of them, Mother Nature took care of. The third one, we took home and we're going to have it fixed. And we took the mother, had her fixed, so she'll never have another kitten while she's running loose, so.
Yeah, that's, and I mean, even with big signs on the door that say, stop, if you have an animal, you need to call us first. People are still just walking in with kittens especially. It doesn't happen so much with dogs anymore, and actually, I mean, we haven't gotten a call about a stray in, like a week. She's like, don't jinx it.
Don't you say that look,
Not to- But the kitten situation right now is just out of hand because,
It's out of control.
yeah, because within 8 to 10 weeks, these kittens are gonna be having kittens.
irresponsible pet owners is what
It's out of
this is.
control. I mean, and I've been up all night.
I saw
To
the
the point
picture.
where I'm not even thinking straight. With a kitten that's sick. And
You have to make a tough decision.
it's probably gonna die and I've spent hours trying to keep this daggone thing alive. And this morning I thought it was dead. And, I gave it a little bit of K-Roll syrup and it, all right, well, still okay.
Where's pancakes?
You can only do so much, Molly. I
Yes.
know it. You just hadn't realized that yet.
And how either one of you do what you do, I don't,
Well, I could have bottled that baby for like 2 weeks and he's thriving.
I don't have a clue how you do that.
Every case is different, as we
Yes.
know, in all
Well,
this.
I can't imagine too, like I see on Facebook where people still want to bash them,
Oh, yeah.
There's
That's
no,
all Facebook is
yeah,
good
there's
for.
no, what's the point of having a shelter if we have nowhere to take stray animals? It's like, they are packed full, like they're busting at the seams. What more do you want from these people?
Well, and the sad thing is not every animal that they say is a stray animal.
Is a stray, right?
Oh, yeah, actually, like,
Most of them.
And
most of them.
unfortunately, I've started, and yeah, since we're live streaming, I'll say this. When we get a call now, because we are so inundated with calls and people coming to the shelter and pulling her away from what she's doing by surrenders and people wanting to surrender and people, I've got these strays that showed up, I've got these stray cats. For now, this right now, we're code red, owner surrenders are getting euthanized.
Yeah.
I have no place to put them. And if you, the owner, can't rehome your pet, if you can't rehome it on Facebook,
Well,
We
well,
did
then
dig on
think
it.
that I can, or that Ann can.
Yeah.
And you want us to make that hard decision.
Mhm.
You don't want to make that hard decision. And
Yeah.
So I just let them know that right up front.
yeah, it's,
This is what's gonna happen to your animal.
That's what I am doing, and
Do they take them back home then?
in
Yeah.
in retaliation on that, last week, there was threats made.
Do you,
Another one's popped back up again that has been a constant problem. They popped back up again,
is that the discussion we had?
and more threats were made.
Melody's threats?
And this is, because I know that they're probably watching this, because I was told that they watched the other ones, and I hope they are watching. These threats, it's tiresome. And I didn't kill an innocent dog. And for you to say that and accuse me and my staff in the shelter of doing so is baseless. It's uncalled for,
It's senseless.
and it's taken its toll.
Mhm.
Well, and I mean, that particular situation is you're not gonna, it's like talking to a brick wall. But, I am tired of the people getting combative with me, either over the phone or when they walk into the shelter and I tell them, we don't have any room, and they wanna just say all kinds of things. Well, I can't take it home. Like, well, it can't come here. It really doesn't matter what you say in that moment. I'm not gonna all of a sudden
Yeah.
have space. The only time this has happened where I was like, hey, I can't take it. There happened to be somebody in the shelter all deciding that they were going to adopt a cat, and so she was there filling out her paperwork, and this lady came in with the cat, and she was like, oh, so that was
I just bypassed you.
that was a really unique situation. But yeah,
That doesn't happen.
that was.
The only time it's happened.
Well, we've talked about this before. I highly recommend anytime someone makes a threat that you report it.
Yeah, you have to find that, because there needs to be a,
That is something, you're doing a service for this community, and people are trying to abuse it, and you don't deserve that.
we need it kept on record.
Yeah.
Anytime anybody makes a
Because
threat,
something could happen later on down the line
call, yeah,
involving this person.
you need
and
to
if
have a
it's not,
paper trail.
it's sort of like our dog bites.
Yeah.
If people don't call the police department, we don't have a record of it, and I think you should.
Nobody's ever threatened me, luckily. I mean, it's just the arguments and the combativeness.
Well, if it's harassing,
If they get too combative or too,
Well, they don't usually, but here's the thing, is it's not usually like a long, thing. It's just that it happens so many times.
Mhm.
It's just like,
you need to
It's
just,
monotonous.
you just need to accept.
Well, and
Well-
it's making us jaded, and I don't want to
Yes.
be, and that's the thing, I don't want to become jaded, but it's hard when this is constantly
Mhm.
what.
you don't get anything but negative thrown your way.
but here's the thing, anybody that's actually been down to the shelter to volunteer, has been like, I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you do it. You guys this is crazy.
Right.
So, I mean, it's good. I feel like we do have a lot of support, and I think
Yes,
that
you
we
do.
talk about all the time that we try not to let,
The negative.
the negative.
Few bad apples spoil the whole bunch.
I mean, our husbands say they don't know how to do it.
Right.
And last week when the threats came in, I'm gonna be quite honest, it really,
Well, you need
I-
to report those.
Yes, Molly, I highly
At least
recommend it,
get a record of it,
yes.
please. Because if you don't, and down, say a week, a month, 3 months from now,
But on a
Something
positive note, like June, we had a really, really good adoption month in June, and I forget how many it was, but like, compared to the winter.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, it's picked up.
yeah, it has definitely picked up.
We have more, I wish we need some more volunteers.
Yes,
We
it's
need
making our
some
job,
We need some more volunteers during the week to come in and help.
even if all you do is come and get a dog out of its kennel,
Yeah.
and we have a fenced in area. I mean, you don't even have to,
Go out there and read a book and let it run around.
right, exactly. If you just want to babysit it out there, and let it go to the bathroom outside, that saves us so much cleaning. Just letting dogs go outside for a few minutes every
getting some
day.
sunshine and
Yeah,
some
it's good for the
exercise.
dogs more
Yeah.
than anything.
I can't do it every time I come down there, I take one home.
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, we want to let these dogs out. We want to go out there and sit with them.
Yeah.
I want,
You got too much stuff to do inside.
I just physically can't, unfortunately. When I first started this venture, I could. And now we've gotten so busy, I can't.
We don't want you to get
And I don't
overwhelmed.
like that part of it.
We don't
because-
want either one of you to get too overwhelmed.
No, we're past that. We're way past that.
Burn out then.
Luckily, we're
We're way past that.
Well, I don't know what's after that.
We're past that.
We don't want to know either.
Yeah.
I don't want to know either.
We're gonna drink this water.
But I've been,
I mean, yeah, I think that we make a good team, and
I agree
fundraising,
with
More
100%.
hands on deck.
how's the fundraising going? I see you're having one at the bowling alley again, or where is that?
no, the country club.
Country Club, okay.
That's Saturday. Well, the circus is coming to town.
That's tomorrow and
I live at the
Thursday.
circus.
They're actually here today setting up. We rode by there earlier. I'm gonna go by there later on and check on them. We have one show tomorrow and 2 shows on Thursday.
Have you heard anything on advanced sales? Have they given you any information?
I have, and he said that they're doing good.
Good.
Which,
And the proceeds from that is going to go to,
so it's a fundraiser for the animal shelter. They've come into town to do a fundraiser for the animal
Good.
shelter. They did one last year for Harrison County. It went over really well. They
Good.
raised over $1,000, so he reached out to me. And my stipulation was, you have to handle the legwork and sure. And he has.
well, that's wonderful. That's
And they've
good.
got a nice location now. That first
Yeah,
one sort of worried me.
well, I'm not familiar with,
Right.
but we met with all the heads of Tell City out at the park, and they all got their questions answered.
Mhm.
So I'm really hoping that this is going to be something good for the kids, because I hear all the time, there's nothing here for the kids to do, there's nothing here. So I thought, when I was approached, I was like, well, sure, this would be great for the kids right before school starts.
Yeah.
So with my hopes that this can be something good,
Mhm.
it'll go over well, and maybe we can bring it back.
Mhm.
It'll be a.
Do a yearly thing
Yeah.
with it
And when is this,
And
Molly?
maybe it's,
tomorrow.
you know, I'm not saying that it has to be for the fundraiser for the animal shelter
Right.
every year, but I would like to see. So with that, then we are going to hopefully, I've got a couple VIPs for each show. I'm wanting Little Ray's gonna hopefully be able to come. And she's gonna be a VIP. We're gonna have tables set up, and the fundraisers that are going on for Ray are gonna be there. So it's gonna kind of be, and then some of the proceeds, I'm going to divvy up with Rayland and then the Morse family if possible. He was the one that was shot.
Right.
Yeah.
We did a fundraiser for him. What was it, last Friday or the Friday before?
I think it was last Friday. No.
$5, we've kind of started doing $5 Friday,
Mm-hmm.
and it's went over really well. And so we said $5 Friday, it's on the Morse family. We ended up taking $265 in for that, which I was really happy with. And I sent that off to her.
That's
We
good.
had
That's nice.
Cruz Llewellyn do a lemonade stand for
Right.
us. That
Right.
brought
I
us
seen that. That is so sweet.
You done good.
over $1,000. Yeah,
Yeah,
Wasn't it 1,200?
yeah.
yeah, it was just slinging some lemonade.
Yeah.
So they brought us, yeah,
Yeah.
they brought us a whole truck full of stuff, and they also called our vet and put $700 into our tab
That's
at the
wonderful.
vet, which is awesome.
That's wonderful.
Brought us food, brought us litter. Yep.
Are you guys still using Rollberg? Is that
Yes,
your main vet?
yes. We love them.
How's Ralph?
Love Ralph.
Mm-hmm.
Ralph,
I've got to go meet Ralph.
he's a pretty boy.
Ralph is a parrot.
Ralph is the bird.
And McCall?
He's a cockatoo.
Where's that at?
And I'm assuming he's at the veterinarian's office.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so
I didn't think it was you.
whenever we post,
He talks to me.
but whenever Molly posts Ralph, I get several phone calls
One
about
Ralph?
wanting to adopt Ralph.
Yeah, right.
So yes, Ralph is not ours. He's at the vet's office. He
Okay.
is adorable and funny. He barks all the time,
Oh, my bad.
but he's not up for adoption.
No.
Yeah. But he's
They let me feed him.
Well, I have a motion, and I'd like to adjust that for a moment. I'd like to make a motion that we set aside $700 for the class, the hours that she spends on taking the class, with the stipulation that once she finishes it, that she comes back and we try to help you out with the medicine also.
Yeah, I think so.
And
yeah, that's
I'm
another
not,
thing. We'll have to purchase it through a
Right.
veterinarian in the state of Indiana.
right,
Um,
and I don't know how much that's gonna be, so we'll leave that
Yeah, I'll leave it open.
open-ended.
Well, that's, I mean,
But the
That's
other
something we
thing,
gotta work on.
well, I made that motion, so
I'll second the motion.
all in favor?
Yes,
Aye, okay, 3-0. The other thing is, I would like, and I'm not really sure if we can do this, so I'll ask it, about the cat kennel. Can we give money for equipment for that? I don't see why we couldn't.
I don't think that is building maintenance. I think that's, I'll have to check.
But I mean, out of our funds, if we could pay, if you could get us an, would
We
you,
would have to have some quotes.
Yeah,
could you get us some estimates on that? For
building
the,
maintenance,
would be,
some ventilation fans.
For,
yeah, it's because it
We
needs,
need some ventilation.
is that in that back?
like exhaust.
Or where,
Yeah, for the kennels.
for the
They
kennels.
were, so they have fans in there, but they don't work.
So they just need replaced.
They could either need replaced or be worked on so that they do work. Are they, all
It's the metal loopers, you know.
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
let's put your other hat on
Opens up
that.
And then the fan.
Yeah, that's my-
And it
that's-
sucks it out the side of the wall or something.
That's another one of my
Roof.
It's not-
jobs, my other hat. And then when I go work for that circus down there, see if they're hiring.
I'm leaving.
Okay,
I'll leave with them too.
could you get us some estimates on those kennels?
Yeah.
By next meeting?
Sorry, I'm gonna play devil's advocate here. I don't want, I think that with our funding as it is, we are stretched thin with the amount of, animals that we have when we're at capacity. I don't feel like we need to add kennels, to add animals, to add more work.
Okay, that's your all's call, but
I think that we should reassess after, budgets for 2025.
Okay, that's fine.
We
Okay,
are
we'll just,
You do know budget is going in session Thursday. Have you got your budget in?
You have a request.
you have a request.
Okay.
Well, could we consider the exhaust then?
No, the exhaust will be on
Yeah,
building maintenance and
that'd
that's
be out of
out of
the
a restricted fund.
restricted fund.
Okay.
So
Correct.
I don't know if you want somebody heating air conditioning to look at it, or like,
Electrician was doing mine.
Is the commissioners meeting Thursday?
No, commissioners meeting will be the first Monday of August in the morning at 9 a.m.
What is the Tuesday?
It is the third Tuesday of the month at 6 p.m. First Monday,
Isn't it the third, it's in today, the third?
Today's 4th.
no, fourth
Today's fourth.
Tuesday. We always meet on the fourth Tuesday. It's all right. So I'll just hold up on that other stuff until we hear from them.
how many fans are there, Molly? Or do you know off the top of your head?
There's one in each of the kennels.
Oh, okay.
So there's two.
If you could call,
I was gonna call Frederick.
yeah, just call
He's
them,
the one that, he's done all my,
and he might be more familiar. He may have done work
he's probably.
on those fence. But yeah, give us something, that we can look at, and then I'll, take it before the commissioners. Because that shouldn't be a problem, because that is building maintenance.
Yeah.
Okay,
I would like to say that, I've talked to a lot of people about this, that we are open to any kind of fundraising idea that you have, and we are willing to help with that. However, we only have a staff of 5.
Yeah.
So it makes it very hard for us to leave the building with how much work we have to do there. But like, for example, I have somebody that wants to do a kitten adoption event at Tractor Supply. Tractor Supply will not let us drop off animals like they used to do at Orchlands. We have to be there with them. We don't have the staff or the time to sit at Tractor Supply for an adoption event. If you approach me with a fundraising idea that involves animals, like you're more than welcome
To take them.
to take them.
Yeah.
Or like I will drive them, and we just need a babysitter or somebody to be there if you're over the age of 18, obviously. So anybody that wants to do an independent fundraiser, I'm more than willing to help you with that, to give you the names and the animals that would be good at that, give you all the information like that. It's just that we lack the manpower.
Yes.
You can't just be on deck.
Right.
Right.
So like I can't, I work 40 hours a week, and I have 2 days off, and I don't
you have
I
to
don't
have
think
your
it's
life.
fair. Yeah, I'm
Your
not
life.
gonna use my days off to go sit
I
at
know what
Tractor
you mean.
Supply when,
You got a family too.
No, I won't let her.
Right.
I'm serious with her about her 2 days off.
And you
Probably should be
that
serious
way.
with yourself a little bit.
Correct.
Well, I should, but we're not because, just like yesterday. I didn't have someone to do morning feed.
That's not good.
well, that's what happens when you
So,
have
yes,
more than one person that needs the morning off for, and they weren't even, they weren't bad reasons.
Yeah.
One of our kennel tech, her stepdad was in a very bad accident. So her mom needed to go be with her husband, and she needed to stay home with her siblings, and then another girl had just had her wisdom teeth taken out.
Yeah.
So it's not, it's
Stuff
perfectly,
happens.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that's just what we gotta do.
Shall we move on down the
Yes.
agenda?
Is there anything else y'all want to?
Anything else for the shelter?
Yeah, I got it all.
I do want to tell you that the 2 beagles that we adopted, I think it was early in the spring or last fall, I don't remember. They're thriving. They hunt, they howl, they don't catch a thing, they're too slow. But,
We're living their best life.
I love to hear them out there running and barking, and they just absolutely, they brought life to the other dogs there at the house. And
We love, all of us, like,
Oh,
people
they-
message me and
I'm
say,
gonna record them because when one starts, you know how Roman has that one howl and Ellie has the yip yip about her, and you can hear them to the house. And I'm gonna record it and send it to you all. It's so funny. But they hunt very, very hard, but they just cannot.
We didn't catch anything.
No, and Roman hit his bowl today. He's very antisocial. He won't eat with the other dogs, so he carries his bowl of food off to who knows where. We've lost several bowls. We cannot find them. But he will pick his bowl up full of food and march himself across somewhere.
You
And
will
he
the next
just-
time you mow, you'll find it.
Oh, yeah?
That and the blade will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right, then, next on the agenda is a report on school promotional items.
The items came in. They're at the shelter in the back.
Thank you again
Uh,
for housing.
I want to thank Nicole in the auditor's office because she found a better deal than what I found on them, and it didn't cost near as much. So thank you, Nicole, for that. Really appreciate it. And like I said, we have in the budget right now the magnetic boards were $1,055.80. We have $3,944.20 balance that we can use. And what I would like to do, make a motion. I'd like to go and try down here at one of the local places to get the cloth bags, only not the big ones. Because a lot of the kids at school, the ages that we're going to, the bags
Yeah.
are sometimes bigger than they are.
Yeah, they were
Just-
too big.
Get the smaller bag and have all three animal organizations printed on the side. So I make a motion to get a quote on that, and then I can present it back, or,
I think you just go ahead and purchase them.
Yeah, I do too. That was part of
Yeah.
what we
What
wanted to
Okay.
begin with.
Discuss-
stuff and stickers, and then to go ahead and with the stuff we already have, we can just
Yeah.
deplete it, put it in the bags.
Exactly.
Okay,
I'll second your motion.
okay.
All in favor? Aye. And just to add on to that, the educational part, I did reach out to the schools. Because of the state of Indiana Board of Education, you have to have a curriculum. And you have to present that to the school for them to okay it. Because Joe Blow just can't come off the street and say, hey, I want to do this in your classroom. So, and you guys have been a big help with me about the videos. I've been researching that. So I'm going to narrow it down to a couple of videos, and we'll come up with a curriculum. We'll present it to the schools and get this set up as soon as they can do it.
I'd be very interested in, seeing the curriculum as well. I think that a lot of people are under the impression, if I can't take care of my animal, I should take it to the shelter. Or
Right.
if I,
I think house training would be a real good,
Okay, well, that's good info too, but I'm wondering like how we're gearing, especially towards children, how we're gearing any kind of, animal education.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, potty training, explaining to a second grader that potty training is super important and they're still.
Yeah, they're not
doing their
gonna-
things.
Right, exactly.
Still having accidents of their own.
Right, well, maybe, how to control their emotions when it tears up their favorite teddy bear,
Right. You
it's-
don't just beat them.
well, and yeah, you need to understand that the dog doesn't understand that that's your favorite teddy bear.
And we've discussed this so many times about a kitten. It's not always going to stay a kitten.
Yeah.
It's going to grow up to be a big cat. And sometimes cats scratch people. They have to realize that. Or sometimes as they get older, they're not as playful as the kittens are. And these children need to realize it's just like growing up themselves. Things change.
Yeah.
Right, see,
Make
and
the-
saying that kind of thing, I think
Right.
it's gonna be most helpful, especially for elementary
And
school.
handling them, actually, I don't know how many times have you seen a kid come to you with a kitten and he's
Yeah.
got by the neck, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, you're like, oh my God.
And then we had talked earlier about, trying to bring some of the animals into the classroom. I'm a little leery, and so is the schools, because of liability.
Right.
So
Yeah, no, I wouldn't,
we talked about maybe having visitation, like
Field trip.
a field trip to the shelter, so the kids can see
That we
what
would
they
have to
look
have
like.
a lot
We
of,
know there's liabilities that, forms would have to be filled out by parents and everything, given the okay.
Maybe not a whole
But-
school, like a classroom or something.
You're right, yeah, we wouldn't do all of them at one time, but
oh no, there'd be no way, it's too overwhelming.
Yeah.
that would be something that we would, get with you all to see what dates would be available and then suggest it. But I just think that, like I said, the bottom line is responsibility.
Yeah.
And I still say the kids have a lot of, they put a lot of peer pressure on their parents. And if they, maybe they'll understand that, yeah, this kitten that you play with for 2 weeks, it doesn't go away.
yeah, commitment.
You're right, commitment, so, okay. All right, anything else on the educational part? Okay, and bite reports. Apparently, we've had quite a few on, where's my pad at here? I made notes.
I read mine, but I didn't print them all.
On July 9th, we had a meeting at the Armory. Molly was there along with Tanya, myself, Kim Robertson from the Health Department, Chief Lou Allen from Tell City, and Sheriff Malone. And we discussed problems with stray animals. And it was a nice discussion. I don't think anything, of course, nothing got settled because everybody has their own opinion about, how we should handle this. And we're still doing some investigation on some ways of handling it. But Kim gave me these hard copies.
I'll put them in the record.
Okay, I looked them over. A lot of them are family dogs biting, the owner or something. They're separating dogs and they get bit. I know of 3 incidents, well, actually, one person, and I'm not going to mention anybody's name, but one person has gotten bit twice within a week. And this person delivers food to household. And I've spoke with Kim, and she was working yesterday on the report because one report, this lady had to go to Owensboro. And I'm not sure which dog was involved, but one of the dogs, they both have been quarantined. One of them is going to be euthanized after quarantine by the owner, because apparently it's bitten a couple of people and they know that they can't have people coming in and out of their house. It's too dangerous. So they've chosen. I think one of the other reports that you have, Becky, the owner is going to euthanize also afterwards. Oh, it was the one I sent you
Yeah,
that had the pictures of the little boy that got mauled.
Mhm.
yeah, it was bad.
That was bit in the face.
Right, and and on the arm, and it was a defensive.
Yeah, it was,
I really think the dog was going for the neck, and it got in the
it
neck.
hurt him bad.
Yeah, I don't think the little boy
How
would
is that
survive.
little boy doing?
Pardon?
How is that little boy doing, do we know?
I don't know.
Kim's keeping up with it, and apparently all right. He didn't want to spend the night in the hospital, but they gave him morphine
Yeah,
because the injuries were so severe.
yeah, it was
Yeah,
bad.
but we can't go into a lot of it because of
Right.
HIPAA.
Right, but the owner of the animal after quarantine was going to have it put down also.
Was
So,
that a decision by them or?
by them?
Good.
Yeah, they just realized that they could not handle the dog,
Yeah,
and no one else could. So
No,
it
I'm
would be a
curious.
situation that,
I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm curious, do you know what the cost of a euthanization for a dog and a cat is? What,
Through our vet,
Yeah,
yes, well, that's,
Well,
it depends on what you're gonna do with the remains.
and.
And the weight.
We get a different price than us.
right.
size of dogs and stuff like that, correct?
Size and our pricing's different than the. public.
Yes.
Right, because I know we
I was
had,
just trying to
we had a
roll
cat
the
euthanized down in Smith, Dr. Kennedy, and I think it was like $75
Mhm.
for a cat.
That's not about, without cremation.
Right, well,
Yes.
we went ahead and cremated, so it was 100 and something.
So yeah, obviously the more weight, the more,
Exactly.
the more drugs it takes to.
Is there any,
Big dogs, you're looking at about $150.
Yeah. is there any research that has been being done by Purdue or IU or any places like that that could come get an animal if it has been euthanized to do research on, or do you know?
No, I have no idea.
I may reach out
We
to,
could probably check with the veterinary school.
What about,
well, even a veterinarian school. I mean, UK has a very good, well, I think IU does too,
IU has
veterinarian,
one,
or
Purdue has one.
Purdue. They all have nice programs.
So you mean instead of disposing, that we donate?
Correct.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
I know we're gonna need a bigger fridge, probably, like a freezer. I know that's how you store them, but
Yes.
we have to.
I mean, that's just a suggestion there, because,
And we are doing some research on different ways of, getting rid of the remains.
mhm.
I'm blown away. That's a great idea. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
It
do,
is.
they do a lot of research, and the only way they can do research is if they have any animals that's been euthanized. And I'm not just sticking with cats and dogs, it's cattle. I do know that they do cattle. Purdue does cattle. They do horses, because they came and got our horse, when I was with the rescue, came and gotten the remains. And, I mean, it's,
That would be interesting.
no, that's a
I'm
totally
sure
different story
that
there.
it would have to be an amount of animals. They wouldn't come down for just, one cat or one dog.
That's
but
why
I mean,
you have to use
Yeah.
the freezers.
Right.
Well, and
And that's how they do studies and with diseases and stuff for animals. And I think it's great that they do it, but they have to have somewhere to start doing the research with. I know it sounds horrible.
No.
I mean, but people have got to realize that that's the only way that they're going to get any information.
Well,
So I was just going to ask.
I was a coroner for 8 years and people donate their bodies to
Yes.
science. I had several of those.
Okay, what do we got next?
Next is, we talked about the CAD reports. Again, just stressing to the public, if there is an incident with a animal bite, please report it to the dispatch. And so we can keep a paper trail on these animals that are biting. A lot of times we're getting the reports of the animal bites from the hospital or the clinic, sending them to the health department, they send them to us, but there's no report to the police department. So the police department are not aware of if a dog's biting several people. I guess the ordinance update, I'll start out, Becky, and then you can put your part in. I did speak in July. I met with Cannleton City Council on the 8th, Tell Cities Council on the 1st, and Troy's on the 10th. And we discussed the ordinance, and I did get some feedback and regarding what was in our ordinance, that it sort of violates a state ordinance. And I know Becky has had the chance to talk to the county attorney about that, so I'll turn it over to you.
I received an email from Attorney Foster and regarding the ordinance that we're trying to pass, which we made some changes, took some stuff out, put some stuff in. I'll just read the email to you. It said, I've been communicating with Chris Goffman concerning the draft of the animal control ordinance going around. Do you know if the county council passed a county option dog tax? IC 6-9-39-9 doesn't allow us to require licensing animals without first having that tax in place. Chris said it was not passed during his time, so wanted to see if it had been passed recently. He said, if it isn't, we'll need to take that section out and rethink how the ordinance works overall. I took it upon myself to tell him to go ahead and take it out. Because I spoke with Commissioner Cleaving, and he's been a commissioner 12 years now, and he told me that was supposed to have been taken out
Section 2.
a long time ago. Beg
No.
pardon?
No, it's a different section. It's in the licensing
And
of animals.
he told me that was supposed to have been taken out several years ago, and they just never did take it out.
That was section 2, wasn't it?
But anyway, I took it upon myself to go ahead and tell him to take this out. And the reason I did is because these ordinances need to be passed, because we need one ordinance in the whole county. This right here might hold up from one of the cities not wanting to do it, but we all,
And
they need to be on the same
And
page.
basically, that was what was related to me, especially Troy and Tell City, because they're attorneys, and I did have a chance to talk to the attorney from Tell City, and I asked if that was the reason, they said yes.
So I told Attorney Foster, go ahead and take it out.
Pardon?
What was the reason?
The tax.
In the state, okay, here's a state ordinance, I have it with me.
It's never been even used in this county,
Yeah.
ever. Even since these ordinances back in 2012, it's never been used.
It
The
says,
county option dog tax.
right, we never did adopt it, and it says, of a county may not adopt an ordinance implementing a licensing system for dogs unless the county option tax under this chapter is in effect in the county.
No, we know, and Jim Carter has brought that up hundreds of times. But are we totally opposed to a county option dog tax?
No,
No.
that's just the thing. In order to get this ordinance passed, we have to
Eliminate that,
eliminate this,
and it can be
and
added
it should have
later on.
been eliminated.
Okay, we're taking baby steps, okay.
Right.
years ago.
So, apparently also, and if you listen to Jim's presentation, there's only like 3 counties in the whole state that uses this, and 2 of them are using it wrongly. So they're trying to get it passed where this is taken out of the state statute. Once that's taken out, then it comes back in the county, and then the county can do their own ordinances regarding that.
Okay.
Do you know what section that's in, Becky? Did he tell you in the one that we sent him?
No, I don't.
And I've
I
been
don't.
trying to file through here looking for
No,
it.
no, I got the IC code on it. That's all that the.
Yeah, I got, that's the IC I just read you, but,
But I mean, I took it upon myself because I want these ordinances passed.
right. And I think we'll have the only other item that was brought up that Troy would like representation on the board.
Correct.
And that really turns into another little matter, because if we add another person, then we have 6 members. And that is an even number.
That's not good.
So, we need to come up with a solution there.
Could we
Add another one.
add 2 people and have 7?
Where would we get the 7th person?
Just another.
Public,
Yeah.
just public?
And who would that be appointed by?
We would have to,
What's Troy's population?
100. Well, they
no, Troy has
no,
more than
about
that.
300
And I think they really deserve some
representation.
representation.
Because Hamilton has them.
Troy and the county have it, and they're
Where's
part of this
Adam
county
from? I
too.
thought Adam was from around Troy.
No,
No, Adam's from St. Minor.
Oh, is he?
isn't it closer to 80 or somewhere in that area?
Yes, somewhere out in that area, District 3. I will check with
I think the more people, the better.
Yeah. I do
whoever,
too.
I mean, it brings more ideas.
You're right,
Mhm.
but we need an odd number.
Yes.
Yes.
So that would be my suggestion, that we give Troy representation and then a seventh member from the community. And I wouldn't stress that it would have to be somebody that's involved in a animal.
No, just a public,
a public.
Yeah, I think so. I think that,
but let me check on that to make sure that it's legal, the
Okay,
legalities
Right,
of it.
and that's what we're just bringing it up.
But you need to make a motion to, at least, let's look at it.
I make a motion that we add 2 members to this board, one representing Troy that's appointed by their Troy council or board, and the 7th member be a resident of Perry County, and that would be appointed by,
Commissioners, I would say, because it's county.
a second.
all in favor?
Uh,
Aye, so good. Oh, let's see, we did that, so I guess the next thing is looking at next month, which will be the great month of August. All kinds of activity.
Molly, are y'all planning, the shelter planning to go, I guess they'll be involved with the dog, or the dog show at the
The pet show.
pet show?
No, so Molly, is letting the Humane Society
Okay,
continue to do their pet show without the shelter being involved, which I think is good. The Humane Society needs to do its own thing and have its own fundraisers, because we do a lot of important things that are not involved with the shelter at all.
Correct.
People still call the shelter the Humane Society.
Right, and that's
Yeah.
true, and that's it. We're never gonna fix that. But I like to say that the Humane Society is set up to help pet owners keep their pets.
Yes.
So if you need help with an emergency vet bill, if you need help with spay neuter costs, if you need food, if you need, we've,
straw.
we straw.
Are you
We've
still
given out
putting
dog
food
houses.
in food banks?
We do, we put money in, we put dog and cat food in the food banks.
Yeah.
We also, like I said, we pay for emergency vet bills. We do everything by case, so,
Mhm.
message the page if you need anything. But we've done a lot of, recently we paid a pet deposit for somebody so that they were able to keep their pets, when they moved into a new
Oh,
rental home.
That's a good deal.
Oh, that's kind of neat.
Oh,
Yep.
Right, and otherwise the puppy would have been at the shelter.
Right.
So, yeah, so we are set up, Humane Society is set up for pet owners to help keep their pets, for whatever reason. So I think that that's super important to have.
And that's to help and assist,
Right.
not to do for,
Right, yes.
Other people
But it
is
is-
there too.
It needs to be known
There
as
would
a
be
case by case.
Right.
That information you just gave us,
Mhm.
is there going to be someone there at the pet show that can make that kind of announcement or have some sort of paper?
Yeah.
Okay,
It's gonna be me.
okay. Please stress that because nobody knows.
Right.
We need to, and I need to get that on this website that I'm working on too.
I think that it's getting better, especially with the spay neuter clinics that the Humane Society brings to Perry County, and on top of that, the rebates that we've been giving to the
Yeah.
spay neuter clinics. So I've had several people reach out and be like, that was the easiest thing I've ever done in my entire life. I mean, we gave them a check as soon as they picked up their animals.
Do you
So-
still have the trifolds also? They used to sit by where we give you, the little boxes with the money.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are all over the place. Jim is a box collector. So I think, I need to mention that in my pre-pet show speech.
Yeah.
And also becoming a member of the Humane Society.
Yes. So we're always looking for new members, but without having a facility, without actually having animals, we find that a lot of people are just not super interested. I mean, we don't have like a whole lot of events that you could volunteer for that, that involves animals. We're a small, we're a small board, we have a small membership. So we're working on it, I just took it over in January, and I think a lot of people get confused too, because I also work at the shelter, but we have new board members, younger board members, so we gotta kind of revamp the whole thing.
You guys also work off donations?
Yes, so the Humane Society is 100% volunteer donations. We don't pay anybody to be in the Humane Society. But yeah, like I said, I feel people message me all the time and they want to ask how they can volunteer for the Humane Society organization. And aside from the spay neuter clinics where we have to carry the cats in and out of the building, or like the pet show and registering people and stuff, there's just not really a whole lot of volunteer opportunities.
What about the situation like we were talking about, taking the animals to Tractor Supply or Bomb Guards, or later on, I've got one after we go off the air to ask you about, could those people be used?
Yeah, absolutely. So Sarah Jane is a Humane Society member, and she's the one that asked me about doing a kitten adoption event at Tractor Supply, and that's great. Anybody that's already a Humane Society member and comes to the meetings already knows they're welcome to come to the shelter anytime. They know that I'm there and all of that. And so I think it's just a matter of, and I'm glad I said it on live, is that just because we're not saying like, hey, we're having this event and we need volunteers for it and stuff, like we need somebody else to kind of take the wheel because we are so full and so busy.
Mhm.
If you want to plan something, I'm so happy to help you plan it. I just can't guarantee that I can be there at the actual thing, the event.
Someone needs to take the reins.
Right, and I mean, we do the best we can with the
Right.
with the stuff that we do. It's just that I have 2 small kids, and
I know at one time, like the food bank thing, they used to put them in gallon bags and
They did.
we would volunteer to like separate the food from big bags into
so
that.
yeah, we have the Humane Society already has somebody that does that. She's been doing it for like years. And Jim, and then Jim delivers them all, and he does not want to give that up.
Good.
He that makes him very happy. That's his thing. So he
You
loves.
happy? I'm happy.
Yes.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
loves taking the food to the food banks. So, but like, it would be nice if somebody could go collect the food. We get like donations from Walmart, the bags that are ripped and stuff like that. Jim's getting older, so like we need somebody with a van or a truck to go pick that stuff up from Walmart and maybe just take it to Jim's house. That would be great because he loves repackaging it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's just a matter of I need the people to come to the meetings, like we say for these,
And when do you hold your meetings?
second Tuesday of the month at 6 p.m. at the third bank.
But you all say the same thing.
Right, yeah, it's a matter of getting people here, and maybe we could like live stream and that would help.
And you
I
do
think
that
you would.
there?
Yeah, they'd be
No.
more than welcome to use this. I'm assuming,
Yeah. I mean,
even though they're
as long
not county funded,
Yeah.
I wouldn't. You'd have to check with the administrator here to see, but I don't know how that works.
Yeah, I mean, I got a phone and a ring light, I could do.
as- Yeah, you did a Facebook Live, like,
Right, yeah, so I'm always open to ideas, it's not, I've never been a president on a board, I've never even been on a board until last year, so I need help, I will lay that down, I need help, I need ideas, but it's hard when I'm busy doing all of everything, and I like it,
When
but,
did you move to Tell City? I got the 8th count, the 10th for Troy, and what, Tell City, the first. Okay.
Well, that's something I need to rejoin because I was a member in the past.
Well, and we know that a lot of people, we've heard, because neither one of us were participants in the past, we've heard that a lot of people got away from the Humane Society because of people that were in it and involved in it, and those people aren't there. So we hope that we can bring in some new, young,
Yeah.
fresh blood that will get involved and can keep this club going.
Which, I mean, we do, we have 3 new board members since I took the presidency that have just joined the Humane Society. So that's exciting. I think it was the same board members for a long time, and there were missing pieces, and because people
People
standing
get-
in for other people.
People
so.
get older and they get older.
Right.
I
And
don't know.
And I think that's where, I feel like
younger people have,
that's where their board was.
mhm,
Well, and
Before you came in and then some of the new people came in, it was an older board.
Mhm.
And you just you start phasing out.
mhm.
Yeah.
Well, the Humane Society was going to dissipate if somebody didn't agree to be the president because Jim needed to step down. There wasn't anybody else that wanted to be president, so I don't know.
When's the next meeting?
Okay, our next meeting is August 27th, and just a heads up, in September, I have a conflict on the 4th Tuesday, and I was wondering if that could be moved to another day. If it could be moved to maybe the next day on Wednesday, if this room is available.
Yeah, you'd have to check on the availability of the room.
But I'm just gonna throw that out now, and we'll discuss that at the next meeting. But I'll double check to see
Okay.
that the 25th of September is available.
Okay.
Anything else? If not, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn at 7:14.
I'll make a motion.
Second,
All in favor?
aye.
Aye. We're going off air.